you are starting to see a pullback from the consumer, from corporations, from companies. Interest rates are higher. People are trying to be smarter, not take on as much debt. When all of that type of stuff happens, or what recession, slowdown here, negative numbers there, you are going to see that all across the board. But to blame this entire recession on an energy price shock, I think it's just a cop-out. These so-called experts, it's either they're being bought out, to say these type of comments to not instill fear in people. One of the world's top 5 economies has fallen into a recession now. Germany, which is the largest economy in Europe and one of the most important countries in not only Europe but the entire world, is not doing good now. Recession, by the technical term, is 2 consecutive quarters of negative gross domestic production, or negative growth. Now, Germany had this recently. First quarter of 2023, negative 0.3, followed by negative 0.5, and Germany is officially in a recession. Now, when one of the world's top economies goes into a recession, it typically means trouble for other leading nations as well, with a global economy and a lot of global trade, especially for a company like Germany, which a lot of it is the output and the trading that they give off with other countries. It just goes to show we've talked about on this channel multiple times the negative implication of these interest rate hikes that we've had, the large amount of debt that we're seeing on a global scale from many different countries, from corporations, big companies, and all of that. And you are starting to see it, negative growth, because the amount of interest that's being paid on debt and just everything that's happened since the pandemic, we're starting to see the cycle hit an ugly point. And an important country like Germany going into a recession typically spells disaster for other leading nations as well. Now, some experts have come out and said that, this recession that we are seeing right now in Germany is a short-lived recession, that is because of an energy price shock that, the country felt. Now, in Europe, after the war started in Europe, everything that happened with Russia, not giving as much natural gas to countries. I understand the prices ballooned for the price of, electricity, natural gas, and other things in Europe, various countries in Europe. Whereas, we might have felt it here in the United States, but in some of these European countries, for certain households, the income that they brought in, more and more of that income was going towards just, making sure that you had heating and cooling in the house. And I understand that, that had an effect on the spending that people were doing. People weren't going out to eat as much, spending, buying new cars, buying clothes, and other various things that affect the economy, because they had to put more of their income towards just, making sure the house was warm enough in the winter. I understand that. But to blame this entire recession on an energy price shock, I think it's just a cop-out. I think it's so much worse out there than people actually understand that it is, as far as the amount of debt and the amount of money that it takes to service the debt with these higher interest rates. And this right here, saying that this is going to be a short-lived recession, I think it's just, these so-called experts, it's either they're being bought out, to say these type of comments to not instill fear in people, or they're just, complete idiots and don't understand what's really going on. I believe that the things that we're seeing in Germany, this slowdown in gross domestic production, you're going to start to see it all across the world. Blaming energy price shock or any other thing other than these higher interest rates, it's a cop-out. And I think that things are going to, for a lot of leading nations as well as developing nations as well. Now, Germany, export economy. They export a lot of stuff. The United States and China are the 2 biggest countries that take in German exports. Now, a lot of that has slowed down. I think I read somewhere, the 25% slowdown, as far as the cars and different things that Germany has shipped to to China or the United States over this period of time. What does that tell you? In these other economies, there is also a slowdown of the demand for some of these luxury items. Why? Because in some of these other economies as well, you are starting to see a pullback from the consumer, from corporations, from companies. Interest rates are higher. People are trying to be smarter, not take on as much debt. When all of that type of stuff happens, or what recession, slowdown here, negative numbers there, you are going to see that all across the board within the next couple of years. Man, Germany, what we're seeing right now, monitor it, pay attention to it. Is Q3, are they going to go back positive? I hope they do. I don't really want doom to happen, but the higher interest rates that we're seeing, the slowdown that we're seeing in this top leading nation, I think you're going to start to see it everywhere. If you like content like this, leave a comment down below letting me know what you think. Make sure you subscribe for more content like this. Hit that thumbs up button for me.